Hey everybody, it's Boardman21, and today we're going to go over the first skill that you should specialize as every class. Which one will be the best, and which way you should go first on its skill tree. Of course, this is all in my opinion, and you might find a better route to go for yourself. But after running several characters, these are the skills that I have found that do the best early on and will help you succeed in leveling faster, quicker, and easier. So up first we have the Acolyte, and the Acolyte actually starts off with the skill that you're going to want, and that's Rip Blood. And Rip Blood itself is a pretty useful skill that you can use for just about any build. To begin with, it's a skill that you cast, it hits the enemy from a range, it grabs some of its health or blood, creating a blood orb that brings it back to you and gives you health. So the first node that you're going to want is this little blood splatter chance. It will make it cost mana. It starts out at a 0 mana cost. This will increase it to a 6 mana cost, but that's fine because you're not going to be casting it so much that your mana is going to be out. And if it does, you can just run away for a little bit and get your mana back. But early on it's a little OP, and what this blood splatter chance does is on the ground it creates an area of effect wherever you aim it, and it hits every enemy in that, and each enemy that it hits will bring back its own orb, giving you 10 life. So you can see how that would definitely heal you in the beginning when you only have 100 life. Very OP right off the beginning. After you've taken this first node, after that you can kind of do whatever you want. As we set it up, we make the blood splatter area bigger, we make it hit for more damage, and you can even get a poison chance with it. The other way that we also set it up is going up top. You can get a poison chance on hit, and you can get more health granted from each orb that you create from each mob hit. And the way we have it set it up is to give us more health based on intelligence, and at our level we have like 80 intelligence, so it's a 400% increase for us on health, so we actually get back hundreds of health every time that we use it, which is really nice. Second, we have the Sentinel, which its skill that you're going to want to use, you get at level 2, and it's Hammer Throw. This skill for me feels really OP early game, and it's actually really nice. So right off the bat when you get it, the first thing that's going to happen, you throw a hammer straight out and then it's going to come back to you, and yes, it double hits. So as you throw it at an enemy, it'll hit it on the way out, and it will hit all enemies on the way back. It pierces through them. On the skill tree, the first thing that I like to do with it is I go up north and then I take a slight right and I get the extra projectiles. So within 4 points off the beginning, you can get 5 projectiles going out with a hit. It will cost a little bit of mana, and then if you go below that, you can increase the hit damage and reduce the mana back down. So after you've put in 2 points into attack speed, you open up Zeal, which right now is kind of a broken node, so you only need 1 point here. Putting more points in doesn't do you anything, but then you put the 3 points into Ignite Chance, and what you get is when you cast it, all within 4 seconds, if you've cast 3 times, you'll have 30% more damage, 30% more critical strike chance, and 90% chance to ignite on hit, which is just kind of a little OP early on. So just to give you an example of what it's like here, we've put in just the 4 points into the beginning to get the extra projectiles and increase the mana cost. So right off the bat, Hammer Throw is actually free, but once you've put in the 2 points in there, it will cost 6, the exact same as our previous skill, Rip Blood, when you've put in the blood chance splatter on it. So as you use this, you'll see that you get 5 projectiles now, which is pretty potent when it comes for it, but it no longer returns to you, so you're getting a single target hit. For the next points, if you increase the cast speed, take the Zeal, and do the Ignite Chance as such, you'll actually see it cast much faster than we were just casting, and now it's going to have a chance to do more damage, and it will be igniting the enemies, doing more damage over time. And third, we have the Mage. The Mage gets its skill at level 2, and that's going to be Elemental Nova. This is by far my favorite skill to use right off the bat because it's a pretty large AoE skill, and at the same time it does great damage. So right off the bat, the first thing I like to do with Elemental Nova is I always like to get a big group of mobs together. It's very good for kiting, and once you get them together, you can literally just light them up with this, and voila, 3 hits, you've killed everything around you. Now, for the skill tree on Elemental Nova, the thing that I would recommend doing first is going to the right and taking only the lightning side and getting all the way up to channeling. So I would put 1 point into lightning nova, then the 3 points into elemental expense, which will make the area bigger, and then 1 point into luminaire, which makes it channeled, which now lets you do 5 elemental novas per second, which just lights everything up right off the bat early game. Now to show you what the skills look like, let's go ahead and take the elemental nova and let's put in just those 5 points right off the beginning to make it into a channeled ability. So you saw that it was hitting slower earlier, and now you'll see that it's just an absolute crazy amount of how fast you can cast it, and it actually doesn't drain your mana too bad. Of course, this character is much higher level and has higher mana regen, but as you can see, just a super effective, super fast casting, a little bit OP early on in the game. Now, after you've put in your 5 points in, after that you can basically do whatever you want, but what I like to do is stay just in the lightning, and I like to increase the area even more, give it a huge base crit chance, and then you can do spark chances and overshocks and everything. And the spark charge chance I think is really nice because when you get to 100% chance, it's basically a second hit. You're getting 2 hits for 1. It's not quite like an auto recast, but it is extra damage for every hit that you do. So you do 5 hits per second, and now you get 5 sparks a second with it. And if you have increased lightning damage, it's just really effective. To show you what the spark does, I'm going to go ahead and use this on the training dummy. You'll see that I hit it and it does a bunch of damage, and then I can stop and it'll have the spark still going 1 second later. And you can see those sparks were still hitting. I tend to crit about 100% of the time with this. All the sparks are the white numbers. And last but not least, we have the Primalist. And the Primalist is a bit of a controversial start because a lot of people will say that you should probably start the Wolf and get him going so that you can get the extra Wolf. Some people really like Ice Thorns, and honestly all of these skills are good, but my favorite one to start with right off the bat is Thorn Totem. And the reason that I like Thorn Totem, you get it at level 4, which is the same level that you can specialize in, is I like to go straight up with it, and I will get the additional maximum amount of thorns that you can have, and then farther to the left up above, you can summon them all at once. So you can get up to 5 Thorn Totems, and you can summon them all at once, and then you can give them poison chance, and then turn them into freeze and chill duration. And I just like these ones right off the bat because 1, they take threat away from you, 2, when you summon them all at once, it summons them in a circle so you can actually just put it around an enemy, and they actually kill rather fast early on in the game. They're not so good late game, but early on as a first skill, this one is really powerful. And once you've leveled up, as you see we've done here, we have the maximum amount of totems that you can summon. We've also put in the maximum duration, and we've put into summoning them all at once. In this particular maxed out skill, we have the 5 points in poison chance converted to chill chance with the chance to freeze and chill duration. You can honestly do whatever you want over here, keep it poisoned if you want, but when you summon it, this is what it will now look like. You now get your 5 totems all in one cast, and you can just put them out in the middle of an enemy. In later game, you can also get totems that will automatically proc the Thorns totem whenever you do a on hit effect, which is really nice. For instance, with the Shaman, if you decide to go that route, or with the Druid Werebear, every time they do an attack or do any damage to an enemy and you have those idols, it'll automatically resummon those 5 without a mana cost for you. And that is what I think is the best first skill to use for each class. Have a good one.